The movie begins with a scene in Florida, where Noah is packing her things. She is about to move to London with her mother, who is marrying a wealthy London businessman. However, Noah is unhappy about this move because she has to leave behind her best friend and her boyfriend, Dan. She suggests to Dan that they try a long-distance relationship. During the trip to London, Noah criticizes her stepbrother, whom she has never met. This leads to tension between her and her mother. When they arrive at their grand new home in London, they are greeted by William Lister, her mother's new husband. William welcomes them warmly and introduces Martin, one of the house staff assigned to assist them. As Noah explores the luxurious house, she is amazed by the fancy cars and her personalized bedroom. While wandering around, she suddenly spots her stepbrother, Nick, by the pool for the first time. Her mother soon enters the room and explains that the house has strict security measures and that no one can find them there. Later, Noah heads to the kitchen, where she officially meets Nick. From the very beginning, tension rises between them. They argue about being forced to live in the same house, and Nick mocks Noah for her modest background. However, their conversation is interrupted when Giles, Nick's friend, enters the room. That evening, they all dress formally to attend a party hosted by William's company. However, Nick mocks Noah's appearance, telling her she isn't stylish enough. At the party, Nick flirts with another girl while Giles approaches Noah. He tells her that Nick isn't just an arrogant rich boy, he has built his own wealth through his own businesses. After a while, Noah meets Nick's group of friends, and later, she and Nick head back home together. On the way, Noah tries to apologize, but this leads to another argument. When she calls Nick a spoiled mama's boy, he suddenly stops the car and forces her to get out, leaving her stranded on a bridge. As Noah tries to figure out how to get back home, a car pulls up in front of her. The driver, Zach, the estate's valet, tells her that Nick sent him to pick her up. However, Noah refuses to return home and instead goes with Zach to a secret party. At the party, Noah meets a guy named Tom, who offers her a drink, unaware that he has laced it with drugs. Just then, Noah spots Nick having fun with two other girls. Acting on impulse, she throws her drink at him, causing another argument between them. Shortly after, Noah starts feeling dizzy, but luckily, Nick finds her. She tells him that Tom put something in her drink. Furious, Nick confronts Tom, handles the situation, and takes Noah home. When they arrive, Nick gently lays Noah on her bed and notices old scars on her body. The next morning, Nick asks if she's feeling better, but Noah is still angry at him. She threatens to tell William everything, but Nick stops her. Later, Noah searches for information about Nick online and discovers that he has a girlfriend. Curious, she sneaks into his room, but before she can find anything, Nick suddenly walks in and catches her. Embarrassed, Noah quickly rushes out of the room. Shortly after, Noah receives an anonymous video message. In the video, she sees Dan and her best friend hugging each other. Noah, overwhelmed with anger, decides to leave the house with Nick. When they arrive at a parking lot filled with race cars, we realize that Noah knows a lot about them. Racing is her passion. There, she meets Jenna, and during their conversation, Noah reveals that her father is in prison. Jenna, in turn, tells Noah that they participate in illegal races. She introduces Noah to her boyfriend, Lon, and mentions that they are close friends of Nick. Additionally, Lon hints that Nick also takes part in underground street fights. In that instant, Nick shows up and discovers that Noah's boyfriend cheated on her. To get back at Dan, he takes a picture with Noah while they hold each other. Later, Jenna explains to Noah that Nick has to race against Ronnie, a dangerous man who was recently released from prison. However, everyone knows that Nick has no chance of winning against him. In that moment, Noah, without telling anyone, sneaks into Nick's car and the race begins. She showcases her impressive driving skills, surprising everyone, and ultimately wins the race. However, Ronnie is furious and threatens Noah. This prompts Nick to punch him, igniting a brawl between the two groups. Suddenly, the police arrive, and everyone flees the scene. When Noah and Nick return home, they realize they have a lot in common. Noah, after sending the photos to Dan, thanks Nick. The next morning, during breakfast, Nick mentions that he is going to see Maddie, which makes Noah jealous because she assumes he is meeting another girl. However, William insists they go together. When they arrive, Noah discovers that Maddie is actually Nick's little sister. There, she also meets Nick's mother. Nick explains that his relationship with his mother is complicated, but she allows him to see Maddie, as long as he stays out of trouble. Later, Noah asks Nick about his supposed girlfriend, and he clarifies that the girl she is referring to is just a friend. That night, Nick confesses to Noah that he has strong feelings for her. This leads to their first intimate moment, but Maddie unexpectedly interrupts them. The next morning, as Noah and Nick prepare to return home, Nick's mother warns him that if he gets into another fight, he will no longer be allowed to see Maddie. On the way back, Nick feels frustrated because he still has to fight Ronnie due to what happened at the race. Later, Dan suddenly arrives at their house. Noah's mother invited him to stay for a few days. This upsets Noah. Dan then apologizes for cheating on her. Although Noah doesn't forgive him, she allows him to stay. The next morning, during breakfast, Dan suggests going out with Noah. Just then, Nick walks in. Dan introduces himself, but Nick ignores him. Dan soon realizes that Nick is the guy from the photos Noah sent him and understands that it was all just an act of revenge. This leads Noah to go to Nick's room, where she embraces him and asks him to get rid of Dan. As a result, Nick offers Dan money to leave the house that same day, and Dan accepts. In the next scene, the long-awaited fight between Ronnie and Nick begins. Worried about him, Noah rushes to watch. Noah, overwhelmed by emotions, decides to leave the fight and walk away. At the same moment, Nick also chooses to abandon the fight and go after her. However, an enraged Ronnie chases him down and threatens him. Eventually, Ronnie takes Nick's car and drives away. The next morning, they celebrate Nick's birthday. During the celebration, Nick confesses to Noah that he gave up the fight because of her. When they're sure no one is watching, they share an intimate moment together. However, their moment is interrupted when Noah's mother unexpectedly walks in, ruining the mood. Meanwhile, Noah realizes that she is falling for Nick more and more every day. Later, Noah gives Nick a special gift, a chance to race in a car competition with her. But on their way back home, Ronnie attacks them again. Fortunately, they manage to escape. Nick then explains to Noah that they cannot tell anyone about the attack. The next day, the group of friends travels to Ibiza to continue Nick's birthday celebrations. While there, Jenna and Lon begin to suspect that Nick and Noah are secretly involved. Later that night, they all go to a club for fun, but when a stranger starts dancing with Noah, Nick suddenly loses his temper and punches the man. Shocked by his reaction, Noah argues with him, as his violent behavior brings back painful memories from her childhood. As a result, she decides to distance herself from him. After returning to London, Jenna and Noah attend a party, where Nick and his friends also show up. There, Nick's ex-girlfriend, jealous upon seeing Noah, locks her inside her room out of spite. Noah then experiences a panic attack, and when Nick realizes she's been missing for some time, he begins searching for her. Eventually, he hears Noah's cries and rushes to comfort her before taking her home. In that instant, Noah reveals a deep secret to Nick. She and her mother had been victims of her father's abuse for years, and after testifying against him, he was sent to prison. Nick comforts her, and that night, their bond deepens even further. As time passes, Noah and Nick secretly enjoy their relationship, until one day, Lon suddenly appears at Nick's house, bound and injured. William warns Noah and Jenna that they are no longer safe in the house, so he sends them to a hotel for protection. Meanwhile, Nick's father questions him about the recent events. In the next scene, the police report that Noah's father, Travis, has been released from prison and that Ronnie has been working for him. Around the same time, Ronnie ambushes Noah in the hotel elevator and takes her captive. Moments later, Travis arrives, takes Noah hostage, and calls William, demanding a ransom for her release. Shocked by the situation, Nick suddenly remembers that the car Ronnie stole from him had a tracker. He quickly finds Noah's location and sends the address to his father. When Nick arrives at the location, Ronnie attacks him, attempting to stab him, while Travis forces Noah to drive them away. During the struggle, Ronnie manages to stab Nick with a knife, but Nick retaliates by hitting him over the head with a metal rod, knocking him unconscious. He then rushes to his car and chases after Noah and Travis. A high-speed pursuit ensues, and in a desperate moment, with no other option, Noah crashes her car into Nick's, causing a severe accident. In that instant, the police arrive. Noah quickly escapes from her father's grasp as he pulls out a gun, but the police shoot him before he can harm her. A few weeks later, as Nick recovers, he relaxes by the pool when it suddenly begins to rain. Taking the moment as an opportunity, he and Noah secretly embrace under the downpour. In that instant, it is clear that their parents still have no idea about their relationship.